All right, today we're going to be tackling a very stinky problem. So what you're looking at here is a septic tank aerator. So it blows air into my septic tank. If you're seeing these two cleanouts here, that is the pipe coming from my house going out to the septic tank. And this aerator is to blow air into that septic tank so those microorganisms and bacteria can utilize that air for digestion and to continue to do what they do, the work that I need them to do in that septic tank, okay? So right now, this pump has completely stopped working, all right, which is causing what I call an odorous desiccus. It's making it stinky out here. I don't like it, my neighbors don't like it, so we need to get this fixed, okay? So one thing that happens when these things stop working is you have a little panel here, and a lot of times there's an alarm on the side, and that is what the noise is. And so what has happened is I'm thinking I was out of town and this alarm must have been going off and somebody turned it off but didn't let me know. So then the odorous desiccus has occurred, all right? The boo-boo boogeyman, if you will, has started to enter the neighborhood and stink up the place. What we're gonna do is we're gonna change this pump out. So again, I am an Amazon associate. I do order my stuff off of Amazon. I'll put the links in the comments. If you wanna order these, I do get a little bit of a commission. I'm up to 80 cents. I'm rich right now. But no, really, if you would, if it is something that you need, go ahead and click on the link, help me out. Then also, if this video helps you out, subscribe, like it. If you don't like it, send it to me in the comments. Say, hey, get off of YouTube, stop wasting my energy. I'll take it into consideration. I may not go nowhere though, all right? But here we go. This is what I had to get. So this is off of Amazon. First things first is just a replacement pump, all right? The other things that I recommend that you get is you're gonna need this clear tube. In order for that alarm to go off, this pump here, if you zoom into here, this pump has a clear tube and you can see the sun has beat it to death and chewed it up, but that air tube goes up to the panel, and if it is sensing air out of this pump, the alarm won't be going off, okay? Well, obviously this is not working. The breaker is on, my pump is not working. So the pump needs to be replaced, and the sun has eaten this up, so I'm gonna go ahead and replace that clear tube as well. All right, so again, we have our pump, we have our clear tube, and the other tools that I suggest that you get is some wire cutters, all right, and just an assortment of screwdrivers. Once we get inside this panel, there's gonna be some screws that I gotta take loose, okay? So this is already taken loose, so we don't gotta do that. If you would zoom in here, this is where we're gonna disconnect this pump from the discharge line. Again, this line is going down into my septic tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and back this pump out of there, taking that loose. So the pump is now loose from the discharge line. I'm gonna take my wire cutters and I'm just gonna follow the wire and that clear tube up, and I'm gonna go ahead and clip these zip ties. Now I put those on there so that way the wind don't blow these around, but I need to get them loose so that way when I get into the panel, I can take those loose, all right? Now, safety-wise, when you open this panel up, what I'd like you to do in your situation is to de-energize this thing. You want to take those breakers and go ahead and flip them off. You don't want to work inside of an electrical panel when it's energized. And also, if you're not comfortable working inside of an electrical panel, then I would suggest you hire an electrician to do this part, okay? So I'm just going to get ready to show you what needs to happen inside of this panel in order to get the old pump out of the way and the new pump installed. All right, so here we go. I am going to take this face of my panel down. It's going to have some wires connected to it, so I'm just going to be real gentle about putting it over here to the side. All right. I've got a clear tube that just basically slides on to the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and disconnect that, get that out of our way. That's going to be garbage. This is my cord coming up from my pump. And if you look, I've got 3 wires, a green, a black, and a white. Okay. So I'll follow that white, and I'm gonna need my flat tip. So I'm gonna take the white wire loose by loosening that common screw right there, pull that white wire out of the way. Now this other black wire, if you follow it up, it goes up into a junction bar there. So I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that up as well. And I'm going to pull that black wire out of the way, okay? Now, lastly is this green wire. If you follow it, it goes over here farther to the right there to a grounding bar. And I'm gonna go ahead and loosen that as well. My screwdriver is just a little too big for that hole, but it's working. So we'll do that again to be careful with these other wires and pull that out as well. So we should have all 3 wires done. I'm going to pull it out the bottom and we're good to go. All right, we have deboxed the new air pump and we noticed some things. First off, the new air pump came with a plug, not wires. So add to the tool list that you're going to need a razor knife and you're also going to need some wire strippers. And the other thing is the new pump does come with a flexible rubber hose to connect up, but I'm not going to use that one. Mine's in good shape. It comes with new clips. My clips are in good shape. I'll put these on the shelf as backup, but you're also going to have to fit this pump with that airline sensor. If I don't, my alarm is going to be continuously going off. So in order to do that, that is this screw right here down on the bottom left. And we're just going to go ahead and take that out. All right. Now once that's out of the way, we'll screw this fitting in. Now I know I'm not using the proper tool here, so don't scream at me through my YouTube video, but I'm going to go ahead and use these wire strippers to screw that fitting in just to get it nice and snug. All right, perfect. And so later on we will attach this clear hose to that and run it up to our sensing line. Okay. Now in order to prep that plug, pretty easy. Just take your wire cutters and cut that off. All right. Now next, take your razor knife. And what I would tell you to do is probably use the box, all right, just for safety. But take that razor knife and just run it down the side. And so that way you can get it to expose those wires that are inside. We need all 3 of them. Remember, we need the green, the black, and the white wire, so that way we can connect up here. I'm sure there's an easier way. I'm sure there's a few electricians watching this video and just cringing at what I'm doing right now, but this works as well. Okay, so let's see here. Just gonna run it back just a little bit more so I can get our 3 wires exposed. All right, so what I did was I exposed a little bit more of the wires, and again, we're looking for black, white, and green. Now I'm just going to take these wire strippers and I'm going to just cut back a little bit, so that way we got some connectivity up here when we get them inside the panel. And like I said, just using your wire strippers is perfectly fine. Just get maybe, I'd say about that much exposed. It's not too much. Okay. All right. I'll go ahead and twist these frayed wires together just so that way they stay kind of pointy and all together. All right. So that's what we got ready to go up into the panel. All right. So I'm going to take this new wire from the new pump. I'm going to run it up through that connector. I want to get a little bit of spider web on it. No biggie. Run this up here. And again, we're looking to get these into the same spots that we pulled them out of. I can already see we're going to have a little bit of a problem here. I've got to get white there, but I got to get green all the way across, and then I got to get black up there. So I'm going to go ahead and run this back just a little bit more, so that way I've got more wires exposed, and that way it's not such a tight pull on this power cord. All right, so here we go again. Run it up through the connector, pull it through, get yourself enough wire on this side. Now again, you're going to put the white wire back where you got the white wire. So I got it right here. Let me try to make sure I get it in the common bars hole. Okay. And once I hold that in place, I'm going to use my screwdriver, tighten down the screw there, holding that white wire in. Okay. Now that's good and snug. Okay. Now I'm going to run that green wire back over where we had the green. Okay. It's a little cramped in there. If you got big hands like me, you're going to have a little bit of an issue getting these right where you need them to be, but they are right there. All right, so as you can see, I'm in that grounding bar there. So again, take your screwdriver and tighten that lug that's in the grounding bar. Okay. Now my black got a little bit frayed when I put it in here, but we are in good shape. Let's see here. It was in the compressor hole, so I'm gonna put it back in the compressor hole right here. And I'm gonna tighten that down. All right, chuck that wire snug. My green wire is snug. I should be in good shape. Alrighty, Now I'm gonna go ahead and close this panel up. Tuck all the loose wires that aren't used anymore back in there. Flip this thing around where it's right. All right, got it back the way I want it. Okay, now back down here at the pump, what I'm gonna do is I've got power, but I still have my breakers off. I'm gonna scoot this closer, get the discharge hose on, then I'm gonna take that clamp, and you should be able to pinch these with your fingers, run them back. All right, put one on the pump and one on your discharge line, you're good to go there. Okay, next we need our sensing line, or that alarm will be going off. One end on that adapter that you added to the pump down here, it just slides on and then it gets trapped on there. Okay, I like to run mine back under because we'll hit it with the weed eater 9 times out of 10. Okay, so try to tuck it away to where you don't get it hit with the weed eater. All right, same thing I'll probably do. I'll probably come back with some zip ties, zip tie this up, so I'm just kind of spacing it out where I've got enough slack. And then I'm gonna take my wire cutters and I'm gonna cut this airline. I've got this for the next time, and this pump is going to be put on that sensor line right there. All right, we're gonna flip the breakers on to get this new pump. I've got it wired up, I've got the sensor line on, we should be good to go. All right, now you're hearing it run some air. Now I haven't flipped the alarm yet, but just to double check, we can pull this line off. And if you hear it, it is pumping air, just like it's designed to do. Put that on the sensor line, okay? And so everything should be working. We're pumping air to our septic tank. I should be able to flip this alarm and no alarm, and we're in there, all right? So, thank you for stopping by. And again, leave me a comment if there's something I can do better. But if not, y'all have a good evening.